Hello folks, I'm super thrilled to release today a new version of the MM RVOL relative volume indicator. This new version is completely overhauled from the last one to show you the volume bars on the current chart and color them differently depending on the average volume and the relative volume. So what you actually see down here in this indicator is three different plots. There's the bar plot of the volume, and then there's this dotted line here, which is the average volume on this chart. And then there's this area behind here, which shows you the relative volume from the last N trading days. And what it really does under the hood is it allows you to see in real time when there's a relative volume change. And so here you can see that as Tesla was consolidating here, it was actually like much higher than average volume for this time of day in the previous N trading days. And I keep saying N trading days because it's customizable by you. So there's a bunch of settings in here that you can use to define how this is all supposed to work. But the bottom line is that at the top here you have your volume definitions, your volume color definitions. So this is just an average volume bar is going to be colored like this. That's why these ones are that color here. And then if you have high average volume, so that means that the volume is higher than 2 times the average, then it'll get colored with this color here, which is why these first 4 candles are colored with that darker purple. And then if you have over 1.5 RVOL on a specific candle, you will get the different coloring here. And then finally, this average vol color is the color of the dotted line plot, and RVOL, this color here, is the color of the area plot. And then we also have this legend down here that shows you the ATRs on the day. So this is Tesla today, which is going out of its mind, which is awesome. And it is 1.28 ATRs. So it's a full ATR and 0.28 surplus of an ATR. So it's already above an ATR on the day and a quarter, basically. And then the relative volume value that you see here is since the very first candle of the day, it's been accruing all of the volume on every single candle. And this tells you on the day what's the relative volume. So early in the day, this number can be extremely high. And then as things peter off, it can sort of slow down or slope down. But the idea here is that it compares up to the current minute the volume, and it tells you if it's extreme or not. And extreme is defined by these values here. And so the period of the number of days for which to record relative volume is defined here. I've chosen 30. The moving average period is just 10 candles previous for the moving average. ATR length for the daily ATR calculation is 14. It's just a standard number. And last but not least, this one requires an explanation, which is volume divisor. What I found is that normally on a TradingView chart, when you add volume, I'll just add it on this chart. 1 second. Right here. So you see it places the volume bars up here on this chart, and the value of like the number, the numeric value of these volume bars isn't represented here on this right side axis or legend, whatever you're supposed to call that. And so when you create a separate volume indicator and you add it to the chart, it comes in its own pane, and the volume actually is presented on the right hand side, whereas here it isn't for this one that TradingView gives you. And what I found is that on stocks like Tesla, where the volume is incredibly high, you end up with this problem where if I change this to 1, so we're just going to show you the actual calculation of volume. Give it a second to update there. So here, 4 million up here is the high, 2 million here is the midpoint. And so what happens is this actually stretches left to right, and it takes up a lot of space, especially if you're on a smaller screen. This can take up a lot of your left to right visual space. So I just added this volume divisor just to make that a little smaller. So I'm just going to divide the volume values by 1,000, and then it shrinks it back to a more reasonable width. And that's it. So this indicator is awesome. I use this all the time. It's very, very key for me to be able to visually see when I'm looking at any chart. Hey, pay attention to the volume here. Something important is happening. And you can see here on Tesla today, during this consolidation, look at the relative volume. Like it's just much higher during a consolidation. And so it was a thing to pay attention to, and you definitely wanted to be involved in this trade based on that relative volume. And as you can see what happened afterwards, it was worth it. So that's the new relative volume indicator. I have been using it now for a couple of months myself, and I absolutely love it. I hope you love it too.